So the details of the Jonathan Major case are that the case has come to a close. Closing arguments are about to start, and after that it will be decided whether Jonathan Major is guilty or not. But the details of the case will shock you. Keep on listening until the end. So it appears that the evidence that has actually come out at trial show that Jonathan Majors can certainly assert reasonable doubt in his case. What the prosecution has to do is prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Jonathan Majors is guilty of assault on his girlfriend. However, if you look at the evidence, especially videotaped evidence, which shows Majors tussling with his girlfriend and having her chase him, it's clear that once that is played in court, the defense attorneys will be harping on that to show that he was in fact not the aggressor but was trying to get away from her.
Subscribe to the Lion Legal channel for more content.
The significance is incredibly important because it sheds light on the potential relationship, the relationship that Majors has with his ex, and the fact that he may not have in fact been the sole aggressor in the relationship, which goes against the narrative in the case. Why is that important? Because whenever you have something like videotape evidence in court, it is something which a jury can hang on to because it gives independent evidence that allows them not to have to simply resort to guessing who is correct in a he said, she said case. They can make their own minds up. So when you look at the video, you can also assess that too. Additionally, during the last few days of the trial, there were several people who testified, such as the doctor who saw Grace Jabbari and said that based on his assessment, Grace Jabbari, who is the ex-girlfriend of Majors who he is accused of assaulting, he said based on his assessment, some of the injuries she had was not in fact caused by Jonathan Major, did not seem to be caused by him harming her. That is expert testimony, which supports his view of the case. He also had another person who was a WME agent who stated that he called her, and while he was on the phone, he heard banging in the background, which is obviously the assumption that his ex-girlfriend was causing a ruckus in the background too. And when the witnesses had finished testifying, there was an application or a motion in court by Jonathan Major's defense attorney in order to set the case aside based on a lack of evidence to convict. That motion was denied by the judge, so it will be going to the jury to decide it. What are my thoughts on the case overall? My thoughts are, I think it's highly likely that Majors may not be found guilty because the reasonable doubt standard is incredibly high. You have to be sure that Majors assaulted his girlfriend, and the facts of the case would have to support it. You have an NYPD, a New York Police Department officer, who was the first defense witness, the first witness to testify, and he said that he would recommend an investigation into Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend's actions. Also, Grace Jabbari was actually arrested for her behavior too. Once you put everything together, does it make sense? Does it make sense that a jury can decide to almost a standard of certainty to say that Majors is the sole aggressor and the only one who is guilty in this case, and is in fact guilty? In my view, it's not likely. So I would not be surprised if he was acquitted and if he was found not guilty. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.